This is 413 Sports Talk. I'm Raheem Escalay, and here with me today is the entirety of the Central Golden Eagles football team coaching staff. I introduce head coach Valdemar Brower and offensive coordinator William Watson II. How you guys doing today? Welcome to the show.
Doing great, man. This is part of our coaching staff. We got a pretty big crew.
Oh, okay. Bigger than just you guys and the coordinators?
Yeah. We about to have about 16 coaches on our staff. So Coach Watson's the offense coordinator and Coach Panassi the defense coordinator, but it's definitely a village behind us that makes this thing go.
Awesome. Oh yeah, most definitely. Awesome. So we'll get right into it then. And then Coach Panassi will come aboard in a couple of minutes. So then I'll kind of like factor him in when he gets in here. Coach Brower, I want to know when you first fell in love with football. Like what can you remember?
I first fell in love with football, I think, when my dad tried to make me play basketball. I don't know. I think that had a lot to do with it because for some reason he like made me play basketball. I didn't want to play basketball, so I just like football. And I don't know what happened. But then obviously as time grew, and I wasn't a greatest shooter, I still played basketball and enjoyed and loved the workout and loved playing with the teammates. But I was an angry kid, so football was able to basically beat people up and not get in trouble. So really fell in love with the physicalness of the game, and then obviously the teammates and the coaches and the life lessons you learn through the game. Really helped me, still have the same love I had for it when it first started.
That's awesome. What position did you play?
In high school and college and youth, I started playing organized football in sixth grade. I was a defensive back and a running back.
Okay.
Then in high school, I played multiple positions. I played D-line, tight end, wide receiver, linebacker. And then in college, I played defensive line.
Awesome. I myself have some experience in Pee Wee and in high school varsity football in Belle Chasse, Louisiana. I played free safety and quarterback is the best position. There's
Coach Watson played some quarterback.
What's that?
I said Coach Watson played some quarterback.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Tell me about that, Coach Watson.
Yeah, I mean, my first year, I started off as a defensive end and a tight end.
Okay.
And then that following year, that was when I was like 8 years old. That following year, the coach, he liked my height, saw me going to football, started working with me. I took to the position, I started liking it, and I played quarterback throughout youth and throughout high school, my 4 years of high school. Now, when I went to college, I moved over to linebacker. I was playing a little bit of defense and youth and in high school, but I turned over full-time defense in college.
How was that transition going from a offensive guy, a quarterback, the captain of the team to that defensive guy? Now I'm the guy on the prowl.
I was ready for it. It was when I got to college, it was kind of like a relief. I think, as a quarterback, you got to handle yourself in a certain way. You always got to be calm. You got to be a leader. Everybody's looking at you to do the right thing. And I just I was ready to just let loose. Like I wanted to play football and just be crazy with everybody else. And moving the defense kind of allowed that. It allowed me to kind of be myself and instead of always having to remember that I had to be, doing the right thing at all times. So it was a good time. It was good.
Most definitely. I just want to say hello to Coach Panassi real quick. I just saw you popped in there. How you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Pretty good. You're the defensive coordinator for the Golden Eagles.
I am.
Awesome. I'm glad to be here talking. Glad to be here talking with you. I wanted to start by asking you a question. I have a quote. I want to see. You guys can, Coach Valdemar. You guys can answer it too. But this is specifically for you. I want to see if you get this.
Oh boy.
we must hit the quarterback hard and often. Quarterbacks are overpaid, overrated, pompous bastards, and they must be punished.
Buddy Ryan.
Buddy Ryan from the from the '93 Oilers playbook. Oh my God, how do you feel? How do you feel about that? And if you could get into your philosophy as a defensive coordinator.
Well, I mean, we're talking to a quarterback's dad right here, so no.
Yeah, tread lightly.
No, honestly, I'll say this: pressure on a quarterback solves a lot of problems.
Oh yeah.
Pressure on the quarterback solves a lot of problems. If you are, if you're playing against a team that has a receiver that you can't cover, it helps when you only have to cover him for a second and a half for 2 seconds.
You're right. So as long as the front seven,
pressure on the quarterback is huge. The other piece of that is teams only have one. So if you rattle him, they're in for a long day.
Right.
Another Buddy Ryan quote from the same exact source is a quarterback can't throw with tears in his eyes. So.
Yes, and I know about that all too well.
So high school football, I still think stopping the run is the first priority. But I'm also a big believer in pressure.
Yes, most definitely. Coach Brower, I have a question for you. What are your core values as a head coach? What are some of the lessons, both on the field lessons, off the field lessons you try to get across to the guys?
Our central football philosophy is straight from Nick Saban in Alabama. He might have had it at LSU when he was there. Commitment, toughness, pride, discipline, and effort.
Right.
We try to have that on the football field. We try to have that when we're fundraising. We try to have that when we're academically. We try to have that in life. And now in this COVID situation, we got to make team first decisions and think about those things. And one positive COVID test will pause our season for 2 weeks. So commitment, discipline, toughness, pride, and effort. Just with every decision you're making in life, and it affects all of our decisions right now affects all of us. Right,
exactly. And so, how would you? With that being said, how would you view the relationship between sports student athletes, their the academics? I'm sorry, and their schoolwork and what they have going on there.
We've had a very, very, very tough challenge with this remote learning situation. I think when we were able to have this fall 2 season, our student athletes, as we got closer to the end of the second marking period, they started to get more serious about their academics, started to get more engaged in the remote learning. So through athletics, you can really change young people's lives in the way they approach academics. So through athletics, you can change young people's lives with academics. So, we're able to talk about academics every day at practice when we're able to physically see them. We're communicating a lot through a band app, a communication app right now. So just being able to talk and you have their attention more when you have practices and when you're preparing for a game than when you don't know what's going on or you're just totally disconnected. And we've been fully remote from school, over a year. We've been fully remote since March 12th, 2020. So, being able to be at practice and being with them and being able to talk about academics and just, preparing for a football game, I've seen a lot of our young people's lives change and young guys get more engaged in remote learning and academics. So there's definitely a good parallel between athletics and academics, and very excited to be part of this process. I'm very excited that we have a game and we have, the kids have something to look forward this Friday night.
Right. Most definitely. I saw that you guys are going up against Minnechaug, and I wanted to talk to all three of you about that. Last year you guys ended up beating Minnechaug. I want to say it was 47-7.
That was a very long time ago. Very, very long time ago. That was a total different team.
Yes.
Very weird. That was a total different team. We're a total different team. So this is a 0-0 scoreboard.
I like that. I like that.
Coach.
Oh, okay, right. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that you won big. The 2017 matchup, 55-0. That in a high school game. Now, mind you, I played high school ball myself, and football is a religion. It's been said
when we
that
played that game. When we played that game, I actually had an afro. I actually had an afro back then. So that was even longer ago. Yeah, that was a total different team, total different coaching staff. Mm-hmm. I had an afro. That was a different world. So yeah, those numbers don't matter. It's 0-0.
0-0.
Talk about that one.
Oh well, Coach Pinaski, you had it easy that game.
What game are you talking about? What game?
When you guys won 55-0.
Not so fast.
Coach Pinaski was actually on the Minnetonka staff on that game.
Oh, yes. Wow.
Yeah, see, we're
so he was on the other side of the coin then.
Yeah, that was ages ago.
Yep.
Ooh. Wow. Coach Watson, I have a question for you. What is your offensive philosophy? I understand that, of late, the past 10, 15 years, the pro game's changing. There's been a lot less running backs being featured. And it's been more of a passing league. So I wanted to know, what is your philosophy offensively? What do you want to do every time you get out there?
We like to try to stay balanced.
Yeah.
Don't want to be one dimensional.
Mm-hmm.
Want to be able to use all of the weapons on the field. So we want to be able to run the football, make sure that every player, every receiver on the field is a threat, and that teams feel like they have to defend everyone on the field. So we just want to score. We want to score. The goal is to score one more point than the other team. But if they leave that window open for us to pull away, then we want to make sure that we do that and just complement the defense. When they get stops, they force turnovers. We want to create scoring opportunities, and just win as many football games as possible.
Are there any other offensive coordinators, whether it be in the NCAA or the NFL, whose work you kind of admire?
Oh yeah, there's several. Lincoln Riley out of Oklahoma. I love watching his offense. I was high on Chip Kelly, especially when he was at Oregon, but I still watch him at UCLA. Those two would stick out. They come to mind at the fastest, but there's several schools that I like to watch. I watch a lot of Ohio State games.
Yeah.
I like Rhett Lashley. He's at University of Miami. He was at SMU before that, and he was at up here in Connecticut for a while with Moorhead. I believe Moorhead's at Oregon now. So I like watching a lot of those guys and spread offenses. I became a spread guy when I got to Central. And so I've been following a lot of the coaches that have success in that system.
Most definitely. Do you remember offhand the best game you've ever called?
You talking to me?
Yes, Coach.
No, but I remember the worst.
Oh, okay. I definitely want to hear.
I don't know what the best game was. I think one of the games that stick out to me would be Lincoln Sudbury a couple of years ago, where we weren't able to score offensively that game. We actually scored on special teams, and they I thought we were kind of caught off guard. It was the first game of the season, so I learned a lot from that experience. Just being prepared for every just trying to be prepared for every scenario, regardless of what they put on tape. So that's the game that kind of sticks out to me.
Interesting.
We love Lincoln Sudbury to return the favor. We were supposed to have a 2-year agreement with Lincoln Sudbury. We went out there. We took some lickings. we would love for Lincoln Sudbury to come back and come visit us in Springfield. Right. So Lincoln Sudbury, if anybody from Lincoln Sudbury watches this podcast, you owe us a game in Springfield.
Yes. Come to Fred Burt Field and show us your skills, right?
Listen, we would even play at Old Plum Field. We would play at AIC. We would play at West New England. I just wanted to come to Springfield. That's it.
Right. Exactly. Coach Panaski, I got a question for you. Defensively, what does a typical day of practice look like for your groups? Like, you know, how we'll meet with the head coach, and then we'll all break off to our different positions. What does it look like for you during practice?
So we start every practice with a pursuit drill.
Yep.
We start every practice. I know a lot of teams finish with it for conditioning.
Yeah. Yep.
I like to put an emphasis on running to the football because, like I said earlier, pressure solves a lot of problems. Yep. Running football solves a lot of problems. It's you don't notice a missed tackle if the next guy's right there to clean it up.
Right.
So, pursuit is key. So we start every single practice with some sort of pursuit drill, every single one. Then we'll usually do a blitz period where we'll work through all the blitzes in the system because, like I said, pressure is important, but you're not going to do every blitz every week. Okay,
right.
So we'll go through a blitz period to keep the blitzes fresh. Now we'll go individual drills, group drills, team drills versus scout. Right now we've been kind of servicing ourselves for scout because with these COVID rules, we can't cross over with the offense as much as we normally would.
And now
that's kind of the breakdown. No, that's it.
And as far as you know, like the day before game day, like walkthroughs, is there any difference in preparation versus from like a normal practice?
It's much less intense. We're not going to hit each other. You know, coach has special scenarios he likes us to go over for Thursdays. You know, clean up your special teams, make sure you're ready with that kind of stuff. But a lot of scenarios and situations on pregame.
Right. I have a question for all of you guys. I'm going to start with Coach Brower. In your opinion, Coach, what makes a good football player?
A good football player?
Yes.
Someone that loves football, someone that pays attention to academics, and then going back to the philosophy, you know, is committed. So, you know, practice in the cold, practice in the rain, practice when it's hot out, no matter what. Shows up to strength and conditioning in the off season, or participates in a winter sport or a spring sport. Someone that's tough, so toughness. Someone that's disciplined, you know, that's not gonna stay up playing video games all night the night before a game, and you know, be on the schedule. So be disciplined, or not try to, you know, talk to girls on the phone all night. So commitment, toughness, discipline, pride. Someone that has pride. You know, obviously, you know, none of us like losing, you know, so we all represent the city. So just having a lot of pride for putting on the Central uniform, putting on the practice jersey and competing every drill, every practice. Commitment, toughness, pride, discipline, and then effort. I love effort, you know, the kids that play to the whistle, the kids that have a great motor, the kids that won't stop, the kids that, you know, play hard. Sometimes they're not the most talented kids, but they ended up winning a starting job just because on film, you're able to see them running to the ball and never giving up on a play. So even if a play is 30 yards down the field, you know, some kids just have it in them that they'll just get maximum effort and run there and hope for something bad to happen. Hope for a running back to cut back, or a fumble to happen, or hope for a block to leave, or escort their teammate to the end zone. So those things, you know, goes back to our Central football philosophy. So looking for those. So when a student athlete has those 5 things and is a good academic student in the classroom, then you have a special football player in your hand. And whether that correlates to the next level at college or it doesn't, they're gonna have a great football career, and I'm gonna have a special connection to them, you know, beyond, you know, high school. You know, someone that has all those traits.
Coach Watson?
I think, a lot of, coach hit a lot of the important parts just now, but I really look for a competitor. So I like very competitive people to play with me. And I think toughness is key. Someone who is accountable for himself, and I like team orientated people that put winning and put the success of everyone ahead of their own individual success. I know when I was playing, I was like that. A lot of my teammates were like that. And as a coach, I like guys that are not worried about individual statistics, but more concerned with winning. And I think once you win, everything else takes care of itself. So, on top of what, the things that coach said, and he said the same thing as well, but competitive guys are very important to me. Tough people, people that you can count on, that are dependable. Those are some of the things that stand out as far as, a good football player. And if you're talking high school football or college football, one of the most important things would be the academics. You can't get on a football field if you don't take care of your business in the classroom. So
if you're not A1 in the classroom, you're not going to be A1 on the field. My coach always used to tell me that.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to say it. I think if you're not giving maximum effort in the classroom, you're probably not going to give maximum effort on the football field because it goes hand in hand. And when you try to separate it, then you're not seeing the bigger picture. You're not seeing the game in a complete lens. So those are the things that I think are important in finding a good football player.
All right. Coach Panaski?
Give me a freak athlete. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm joking. But honestly, these guys kind of described it to a T. I'll kind of steal one from each of them. What Coach Brower said first is someone who loves football, and that's first and foremost. If they love football, they're going to be willing to go through the grind. If they really love the game, they're going to be willing to pay attention to details. They're going to be willing to compete in the classroom so they can be out there with the team. They're going to be willing to run to the football. They're going to be willing to do all that stuff. So number one, if they really love football. And then when Coach Watson said the team players, we, not me, that's a big thing. If you're selfish and you're not about playing team football, team defense, team offense, you're only going to go so far. Winners are team first people.
Right. Exactly. Another question. I know I didn't really think about this when I was younger, but I wanted to ask you guys collectively. As far as preparation and getting the kids ready, do you guys suggest anything as far as them with their diets, hey, lessen up on the candy, more vegetables? Is there something like that? And do you guys give any input on that?
For me, it's just drink a lot of water. No soda. Drink a lot of water. We can't really control, what families are able to buy. We're not at that level as a program yet.
Right.
Hopefully, we do get into nutrition, and when you're talking about nutrition, you want to be able to provide it. You don't want, some family or families to feel pressured of what they're able to purchase, what they're not able to purchase.
Right.
So for me, it's just real simple. Don't drink soda, water, and that's it. And then if we get into a position as a program with nutrition, if we're able to provide it, then we can preach, we're going to provide you this, make sure you're eating this, not that. But right now it's just water versus soda. We want water.
Right. Coach Panaski, anything?
The only thing I would add to it is eat something. I hate when you have a morning practice or even a practice later and a kid's struggling and you're like, I haven't eaten anything all day. We can't, again, if we're not providing the food, we can't really cherry pick what they eat, but try not to go out there on an empty stomach. So eat.
Coach Watson?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have too much to add to that. I think, from the coaching standpoint, we really focus on being hydrated, and just making sure that they eat something. Like Coach said, you can suggest some things, but if you can't help provide, the student athletes with the food that you want them to eat, you really can't speak too much on what they can and can't eat, because sometimes some kids are just fortunate to be able to get a meal, whatever that meal is. So that's kind of our position out here, because of our environment, because of where we live, and we just gotta, we try to make the best of what we have.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. Coach Brower, I have a question for you. You guys, to graduation, you guys lost a few stars, specifically Isaac Boston, Mahari Miller, Trey Cavan, and Terry Lockett, all of whom graduated, and some of whom played football at the next level. I want to congratulate you guys first off on that. I think any players moving on from high school to college still keeping that dream, not only speaks to the success of the player, but also speaks to the coaches and you guys drilling home the lessons and their success on and off the football field. So I wanted to congratulate you guys on that. And it leads into my next question. What are your plans for the team going forward? Losing that many guys, how are you incorporating new guys, and how's that process coming along?
It's coming along. It's very exciting. Obviously, all our seniors that graduated, Dante Bolden was another one. He's at Holy Cross.
Don't forget Dante.
Yeah, so and we got some other guys that graduated that are playing at Division III level. But you're proud of all of them, and it's a true team effort. Starting at home with the parents or guardians, depending on who's feeding them, and then their year-round commitment, whether it's the baseball coach or Mahari was a great wrestler, Dante was a great volleyball player, Isaac was a great baseball player. So you got a lot of people that are helping the person. And then it really comes down to the individual. Their name's on the report card. They're the ones that are waking up for the workouts. They're the one that is committed to the game. There's the one that love and want to play college football.
Right.
So it's definitely a team effort, and then the individual's dreams and reaching those dreams. And as far as the next man up, it's very exciting. We try to just get as many guys that want to play Central football signed up and medically cleared, COVID tested now, to be able to evaluate. And then position by position, we try to have competition and evaluate the best guy. So it doesn't matter where they come from or who they're related to or whatever, what grade they are, it's the best man wins. And that's how we'll always continue to be. And the best man has to win every single day. So if you won one day, the other guy, the man behind him can't be discouraged because he can win the next day and compete and pass him. So it's exciting to put together a roster and put together, depth charts and different special teams and defense and offensive packages and, seeing the guys compete for the varsity level and at the JV level. So just excited to, we mentioned some names that are playing college football now. It's exciting to see the next group of young men that want to get on that level and chase that college football dream, and in the meantime help Springfield Central football and represent the city and do a good job that way and get to know them along the process.
Most definitely. Coach Watson, I have a question for you. What do you think the role that what role does the family play in a student athlete's life?
Oh, tremendous role. They are, they are the ones that kind of mold the young man from a character standpoint, and also just as, thought process. Like, we get kids that come in the door and you can kind of tell they're special as soon as you meet them. You give them the agenda. Listen, we're going to weight lift at these times. We're going to condition at these times, practice at this time. And those guys are all over it. They're in class every day. The grades are excellent. And so those guys are kind of ahead of the pack as soon as they get there. And then you have, other kids who you have to work with a little bit more.
Right.
Sometimes they may be coming from a single parent home, and they need someone to mentor them. They may need to hear things from a male perspective sometimes. But I think the family plays a tremendous part, because even in a single family home, that mother or that parent has to allow you to coach their kid. Some parents can't handle their children being coached up, or someone with high expectations and pushing them hard, and you start making excuses for your kids, so on and so forth, and it gets hard to elevate it, the level of play. So I think the way families react to those things, as well as being a better student in a classroom, and elevating from a character standpoint, like all of that stuff plays a tremendous part in who that student athlete, how he develops, and who he ends up, becoming at the end of the day.
I like that. Coach Pinaski, I have a question for you. How would you guys handle parents' concerns with their children's playing time?
Well, fortunately, I'm not the head coach, and I would defer that. Well, look, that was a joke, but it's true. He's Coach Brower is the gatekeeper for that type of stuff.
Yeah, can you repeat the question? I can answer that question. Repeat the question.
All right. How would you handle parents' concerns with their child's playing time?
I wasn't trying to duck it. I can tell you my philosophy.
No. We're good, Eric. Me and you are probably on the same philosophy with this. Actually, maybe we're different. Eric, you want to answer it first, and I can answer it?
My first comment to the parent would be, did you talk to your kid? Ask your kid first. Because a lot of times, in my experience at a different place, the kid knew they weren't good enough, and the parent couldn't handle it. That's always my first question. Did you talk to your kid? And then, did the kid talk to me? There's in here. Like, mommy shouldn't talk until kid does.
Right.
If they're going to be adults here, they got to know how to have difficult conversations. I mean, that's
exactly
my philosophy. But Coach Brower, it's your program, right?
No. Listen, the reason I asked you to answer is because I was curious of how you would handle that situation. And to be honest with you, Eric, like my first couple of years as head coach, that's exactly how I answered answer that question. But over time, when you're talking to the student about playing time, then you're talking about the parent. Sometimes there's misinformation. So, and the perception's different. So my strategy now, and it's developed over time, is like, all right, let's all meet, right? So let's have the parent there, let's have the kid there. So there's no back and forth, he said, she said. It's like this. And then right in front of the parent, let's use a name that's not Patrick. We don't have any Patricks. Patrick, why do you think you're not the starting, blase blah position, right? And then there's some, most times the kid can verbalize why they're not starting, right? And then if they're not, or if their parents start speaking for them, and this didn't happen overnight. This happened over years. It's really simple. It's just like, I would like you, the student, to express why you think you're not starting in front, so we can have this discussion, and then just talk through everything, and just talk through, how practice went that day, if the meeting was after practice, or how practice is going to be the next day, and if it's over games, if it's over times, it's after the third game. It's just like every single parent has my cell phone number. Every single student has my cell phone number. I'm a text away, I'm a call away, and I will meet with them and I will talk with them. And I think all the parents know that. Right now, for example, we had a situational scrimmage on Friday, and we're having a tough time seeing if the kids are having mouthpieces because we have to wear a mask under their helmet. So I wanted to reach out to them and make sure, yes, the position coaches will see if they have, a mouthpiece. Yes, I'm the COVID cop and I'm gonna check their mouthpiece and but at the same time, it's hard to tell. So I wanted the parents to know, listen, I'm reaching out to you, make sure your son has a mouthpiece because it's hard to tell underneath the mask, which is real reasonable. So I put myself out there to be prepared for those questions. And when they come, I really feel confident in our program of what we do development-wise, fundraising-wise, academic-wise, to justify who's starting, who's not, who's first string, who's not, and we give our young student athletes a lot of freedom with what position they want to play and what they want to play for a winter sport and what they want to play for a spring sport. And we give every student athlete the opportunity to participate in our strength and conditioning program. And like I said before, the best man wins. So if a student athlete decides not to participate in our strength and conditioning program and do it on their own, before the season, we do a conditioning test. So the guys that participate in our strength and conditioning, I would say, 80 to 90%. Coach Watson probably has 80 to 90% of guys that participate in strength conditioning are committed to that, pass the conditioning test. And then the guys that don't, it's almost like 5%. 5% of those guys that lift on their own, do strength conditioning on their own, pass the conditioning test. And if they do, that becomes almost a conflict within the team because we have 80% of the student athletes participate in the summer strength and conditioning program, and 20% don't. So those 80% that are sweating every day and working out every day build this strong camaraderie. Right. And then you have this group that's lifting on their own, that's kind of outsider-ish. But they do gain the respect of their teammates if they do come back in shape and handle their business and the respect of the coaches. So with that freedom and that flexibility, and then obviously the communication and being true to, it doesn't matter if it's a coach's cousin, son, whoever, it's the best man wins. And, the depth chart changes every day. So you got to be committed. And if it ever comes down to ties, if somebody is committed to the strength conditioning, committed to every single practice, committed to everything, then it comes down to academics. So if a student has a higher GPA and is a better student, then that person will potentially get higher on the depth chart than that person that he's tied with lower academics.
Right. Lastly, I have a question for all of you. In the community, as you know, the pre-COVID Central football games are such a staple during the week. Like it's like everyone's looking forward to them. How did you guys garner that community support, and how do you still maintain it to this day?
We have community support. You're talking about for home games?
Yes.
So the beginning of the season, when the weather's nice, we get a lot more people in the stands. Mm-hmm. As the weather gets colder or if the weather's raining, there's a lot less people in the stands. Okay. Which it is okay, we would like to build an environment to where we do sell out every single game, and we do have that community and that environment, and we want to represent the city and bring things to the want to bring people and fans no matter what the weather. We're not there yet, and yes, we're a successful football team, but we still are in the birthplace of basketball, Springfield, Massachusetts. So we are fighting that fight, but we're definitely putting up a good fight with that. Now with COVID, we are not allowed to have fans at our games, but we did just reach over 1,000 subscribers on our YouTube page. So we are going live. So really excited about that. And, I think the future just kind of happened quicker to where we probably wouldn't have thought about this in a normal year, but, to be creative and to see our basketball program, men's and women's, have to go Facebook Live, just trying to get ahead of it. We're going YouTube Live, and I don't think it's going to be a problem to potentially fill in the stands even when we do get out of COVID. So hopefully the fall 2021, we would like to see a packed environment, the game, and then obviously, friends and family members and alumni to be able to watch YouTube Live no matter where they're at throughout the country, throughout the world. Oh, yeah. So really excited about these opportunities. And we want all our kids to get recognized for the hard work they put in, because our kids are putting hard work. So we're really excited about the game, and we're ready to share that with as many people that want to see us be seen.
Awesome. Well, I thank you guys for being a part of this conversation today. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the coaching staff for the Central Golden Eagles football team. They have a game against the Minnehaha on Friday, March 19th. I predict that you guys are going to win 35-10. I look forward to it, and I wish you guys the best of luck going forward.
Thank you very much.